Hello and welcome to the VO Life. I'm Troy Holden and I want to welcome you. No fanfare today, no big blasting intro, just a little lounge music to get us started because this is the first episode. Excuse me, episode 1. And as if you know me from previous things, I like to do things unedited, off the cuff, unrehearsed. I do make some notes because I don't want to get here and have nothing to talk about. But we're gonna do a few episodes and see how it goes, and if I can keep up, and if people are listening, then away we'll continue. But there will be intros. We're working on those. Again, relying on the wonderful Louise Porter to send me her velvety, natural, lovely vocal. She got some really good compliments in a workshop last week, and I was so happy to hear that for her, because as VO artists, actors, people trying to make it, we're all so down in the dumps sometimes because we hit these slow spots and we think it's my voice, it's my sound, it's my this, it's my that, and we get in the dumps. So it was, excuse me, allergies, sinus, right? You go from one thing to the other. It was wonderful to hear her get those because she deserves them. She's really good, and I want to see her build confidence as much as she builds business. And I know she will. So what's the goal with VO Life? There hasn't been a lot of explanation as to, well, what happened and why did this happen and that happen. As far as I was concerned, nothing happened. I made some decisions to do some things, and here I am. Okay, so that's it. There was no ill will. There was no hard feelings. I was not mad. I was not doing anything for any dirty reasons. But I wanted to do things on my own schedule when I had time. And I kept trying to cram stuff in, and I was busy doing nothing. So this I will do when I want to do it because it's just me. And I can schedule things when I want to schedule it, and I don't have the pressure of it. I can do it at 5 o'clock in the morning. If I want to get up early, I can do it whenever. So that's the plan, and that's what I'll do. So this was launched as the VO Life, and this is mostly people that maybe are not in the basement anymore. It's okay if you're just starting out and you're with us. That's fine. Please be a part of it. But there are a lot of folks I noticed that had kind of come out of mom and dad's basement and they're ready to move out of the house. But the advice was the same stuff over and over and over. It was this. And maybe they were getting bored with that. They had already heard this from 11 different sources. So here, I want this to be way more interactive of you guys interacting with each other on the Facebook page. I may be the administrator of the page, but I don't want to answer all the questions. I don't have all the answers. I haven't tried everything. I can tell you what I tried, and I'll chime in with that, but I want other people to jump in and say, I tried this, I used that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. This works, that doesn't work. That's what this is. It's a place where you can share all the stuff you're trying and doing, and it works or it doesn't work or whatever. And I just think a lot of us are in that position to where we've already got our mic, we got our DAW, we got our interface. We're working. We may not be full time. We may not be making a ton of money, but we're working. What other platforms are we trying to get on, and how's that working for us, and all of that. So, like I said, you've moved out of mom and dad's basement. You're trying to live the VO life, and let's share about it. Other things we're going to be doing is talking to, gosh, this is terrible. It's terrible because I live on a farm and yesterday I did a lot of ground moving. I was turning ground with an old plow and then re-dragging it, trying to smooth some areas out where I'm building a new barn, and then also where you go into my back fields, it had gullies. I guess everybody knows what a gully is, like little mini ditches. And I wanted to fill those in and smooth that ground out. So between that and then mowing the yard, and we have these yellow weeds, it's called pigweed, and it looks like little bitty flowers everywhere, but it's solid yellow everywhere. And when you cut them, they have something in them that releases and it burns the heck out of your eyes. And you get yellow dust all over you, and that's where I'm at this morning. I probably should have put this off. But moving back to what I was saying, see, that's the thing about me. I'll lose track. I'm going to talk to people at all levels of their career. So our first interview coming up, I have that planned to record soon, is with a guy a lot of people know who is a full-time VO who has now launched his own thing, who I think is probably the first person I've seen step out when I look at Dane Scott and I see, who else? Which Anthony Pica's journey is a little different. It's similar but different. But when I see people that have come out of Fiverrland, and Trevor is another one, Trevor O'Hare. We're going to be talking to him, and he's building a very successful business, a very successful social media presence. He's starting to build his coaching and his teaching and his things that he is offering people. So we're going to talk to him about his journey and how he got where he's at and why he's there. We're going to share milestones with each other, talk about business strategy. Of course, I'm inviting you to the VO Life Facebook page. That's where probably the most interaction goes on. Yes, I'm there. I check on it a lot. I check in 2 or 3 times a day. But I want it to live and breathe on its own. I don't want it to rely on me to always be putting something in there for people to talk about. I want people to really participate in it. It's everybody's group. It's not just my group. I'm not there to blow my horn or sell you anything or do anything. It's just a platform there where you can get in there and talk to the people on it. And hopefully we get other people in there that you become friends with and you can share what you do. There's no right or wrong. It's just input and sharing. What works for you might not work for me. What works for me might not work for you. That's okay. Nothing works for everybody. That's why there's so many car brands. That's why there's so many microphones and DAWs and interfaces and whatever. And I say that looking, there's 2 sitting on my desk. And if I get aggravated with one, I'll switch to the other. They don't sound any different, but sometimes it's personal preference. I'm currently using the EVO8, and I like it for 2 reasons. And a lot of you may be addicted to headphones. I hate them. I try not to use them. I don't want them on my head when I read because I think I become unnatural sounding. I either talk too softly or I'm listening to myself too closely. But when I'm talking just me and the mic, and I don't pay attention to it, I kind of look around the room, I look at the walls, I'm reading little signs I've got up that say, stand, smile, gesture, you're good enough, only you can be you, this is not a dialogue, or this is a dialogue, it's a monologue. Look for the heat-seeking missiles. Who are you talking to? Who are the 5 in the booth with you? If I'm doing that versus concentrating on my ears, I do better. The Evo 8 will also allow you to like if you're on a Zoom meeting, you can use your mic and it'll get the other people coming out of your speakers, but you won't get feedback. I don't know how it does it. I don't know how that works, but it works. And I like that because I don't like wearing headphones for 2 hours in a workshop. That'll wear your head out. The other one I have is the, what number is that thing? I can't even see that far. It's the ID4. And they are both the same brand. They're both Audience. And I like the brand. The ID4 is the opposite. You have to use the headphones. If you happen to have the wrong button pushed and you play something through the speakers, you'll get feedback through the mic and et cetera, et cetera. So right now, the EVO 8 is the unit of choice. And I enjoy it. I like it. Anyway, so back to what we're looking at on the podcast. I was talking about that's why there's so many of everything. And it's true. It's very true. What I'm doing may not work for you. So I'm not a person to say I'm right ever. I will listen to what you're doing because I may try what you're doing. I believe in that. I like the sharing aspect of all of this. I like the camaraderie, and I like the positivity. And if there's one thing that will get you in trouble, and that's going dark negative, don't go negative on us. Be positive. Even if you're having a bad experience, don't run the experience down. Ask, what do you think I did wrong? And be open to see what's going on and accept that and move on. Don't get defensive about it. There's no use in it. If you'll take all these piles of opinions, these piles of advice, and work through them, you might find a better path. And that's what this is all about. Let's have fun. Let's talk. Let's share. And let's all get busy. Because I really do believe that we are coming out of the COVID darkness, and we're going to see a huge upswing in positivity ads. And was it Luis that just had one? I think Luis Porter just had one that was that type ad. And I think we're going to see a boatload of that, things are opening back up and here we go and we're ready for your business. And, and it's going to have that same theme that, we had that dark in times like these. We've never had such times like these. Well, now it's going to be, we're coming out. We're opening up. Things are getting better. It's time to come back to whatever. It's time to go on vacation. Go see your friends. Hug your family. Love each other. You're going to see all that coming out. Even with the crazy economy we're in right now, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm building a barn and lumber's up 180%. What a smart guy I am. But I got to have it. I'm losing hay every year because it gets wet. So here it comes, folks. I really do think the floodgates are going to open for us. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because there's no use in me talking 30 minutes about the same thing over and over, right? So you got the gist. Welcome. We're not fancy yet. Hopefully it'll get better and smoother and cleaner. But this is episode 1 in the books. And look forward next time here in the next week or two. Look for episode 2. This is just our introduction, but episode 2 will be coming. And it is that interview with Trevor O'Hare. I also have interviews scheduled with other people. I also have one in the can that will come out probably week 3. And that will be a person who, I'm not going to disclose their name yet, but they were thrown into VO full-time coming out of COVID. Then they were offered another full-time job recently and to work from home, though. So decided to take it because they felt like they could juggle both and they could more effectively work their VO business without worry. And I think that's cool. So the interview was done before they took the other job. So I may have to do a quick follow-up with them before we air that and say, hey, things have changed. Let me get you for 5 minutes and let's talk about what changed. But anyway, on we go. Hey, and thanks for joining episode 1, and we'll see you next time right here on the VO Life.